name is Kayla Roach. Speaking of bugs, I'm here with that bearded bug guy, my good friend Logan Hope. How you doing?
Good.
Good.
Want to see some cool shit?
I want to see some cool
All right.
So I think this is probably your most iconic enclosure, one of a few.
Yeah.
What do you have in here?
This is Big Blue. And if you've seen my Instagram, then he's very popular, but he is a 10-foot Vietnamese blue beauty snake. He's a big boy. He's like 8 years old.
How big is this enclosure?
8 feet wide, 4 feet deep, and I think 7 feet tall. It's
Yeah.
on like a little riser.
And he uses every square inch of it.
Oh,
like
yeah.
I've seen footage of him up in the brackets and every piece of wood you have here. We see a lot of people in the hobby keeping them in racks or in smaller enclosures. So I think you set a really good example of how they should be kept.
Thank you.
And it's very naturalistic. You have all the needs met, a basking spot, hides, plants, water, a humid hide.
Yeah.
Take notes, people.
I think there's definitely some species you can get away with keeping them in racks, but when you're talking about a colubrid that is driven by eyesight, has a fast metabolism, fast energy, you know, they react to so much stimulus, like just watching them in their natural environments, like they are interacting with everything and just cruising and climbing and eating, and they're doing so much stuff. Like, why would you not put them in a enclosure where they can do that? And like I was telling you earlier, he still can't even stretch out like wall to wall.
Yeah.
Like if I could, I would put him in something twice this size.
Right.
Because he seriously makes use of every inch of the
Yeah.
enclosure.
This is a snake that you could dedicate an entire room to and just make it like a bedroom for one snake, and he would use every square inch of it.
And then he also lives with a male coolie flying gecko, which is like, if you've seen a flying fox or a flying squirrel, it's like that, but a gecko.
A gecko.
So he's like 6 or 7 inches. He lives in this hollow log that's hanging here.
Are they native to the same area?
I'm not sure about the same like exact area, but they're both tropical.
Southeast Asian species.
Yep.
So.
And he's been in here for a good 6-7 months, I think. And yeah, he's doing great. He's growing. He's eating. I put little offerings in my thing here, you know, a little cup of roaches or crickets.
All right, new care guide just dropped for the coolie flying gecko. This is minimum enclosure size. Anything below that
with a giant
is abuse. That's awesome.
Pets need pets too.
Yes, that's a great, wow. Logan Hope 2025. All right, what do we have on this rack here?
So, more snakes. Both of these are Chinese beauty snakes. There's Princess Buttercup and Wesley. AKA the Man in Black, AKA the Good Pirate Roberts.
I love it.
Okay, just make sure you're a fan of the movie. They're both kind of in brumation right now, so they're not that active, but they're super cool. They're like the blue beauties, but you know, quarter of the size.
Yeah.
Different temperament. They're not as curious. They're a lot, you know, more shy.
You have great setups for them too. I love the foam backgrounds that you've carved for them.
Thanks.
This is something I also want to point out, which you may have noticed in the big Vietnamese blue beauty enclosure, are the sky hides. You'd be surprised how many snakes will use those. I have my OG snake, my ball python, spends probably 50% of his time in the sky hide, which goes against what a lot of people say. So I think it's important to play around with hardscape and enrichment and allow them to use every square inch in their enclosure, including the ceilings. So I think that's awesome to see.
And like different humidity levels.
Yes.
So like you put a hide on the ground, you know, the substrate's going to stay kind of moist. That's a more humid hide.
Absolutely.
One up by the ventilation, you know, is going to be a drier hide. So now they have the choice of not just different levels to hide in, but different.
Well, in the wild, they have all these microclimates, and then they can decide based on how they're feeling or if they've had a meal, if they're about to go into shed, they can decide and have that freedom to choose on their own where they want to go. So you do good with that too.
Yep.
You're all right, I guess.
So we got the 2 Chinese beauties and then the rhino rat.
Oh, I love the rhino rat.
She is such a gem.
I think this is a snake that everyone's a fan of. Even if you're not a fan of snakes, they just have these cute little Pinocchio noses.
They're one of those snakes that I always say, if you have the money for it, because they are kind of expensive, are legitimate one of the best starter snakes.
Yeah.
They only get 3 feet. They're active between like 50 degrees and 75 degrees, so like really hardy. and they never really bite. Like even people who found them in the wild, like they just aren't a bitey snake. They're not a super fast snake. Like they're perfect for a, you know, first time snake keeper. And they got a stupid little horn.
Yeah, so it's a win-win. What do we have down here?
This is Cholula.
Cholula.
Yeah, little Cholula. She's a Yunnan mountain bamboo rat snake. Another snake that I always say is a great first time snake because they only get a few feet. They're a Montane temperate species, and so, you know, she's down on the ground in an unheated cage, you know, in an unheated basement. So she's at probably 65 degrees right now and thriving. So they don't need much to be successful, but they are so cute and have such a cool color. Get her around.
She's beautiful, and I love their white bellies.
Yep, their white bellies, and
you can feel too how cold she is.
it's weird feeling a cold snake.
It is.
Like you think they should be warmer.
Yeah, she's like no.
And then as babies, like those black stripes are like really thick, pronounced black stripes, and then as they get older, they kind of
fade away. Yeah, beautiful. Imagine seeing these in the wild.
Oh, that'd be so cool.
Okay, what do we have here?
They're super shy, so I don't think we're gonna see them. But they're Tarantula annularis, or white-spotted wall geckos. I say it's like if you take a Tokay gecko, put it in Egypt, and then squished it like this way, so it was like stubbier and had a lot more fat rolls to it. It's like that.
I did see one earlier, of course, when the camera wasn't rolling, but it was more cryptically colored compared to a Tokay gecko, but has very similar morphology.
Yeah, like sandstone-y kind of color.
Yeah.
But they're chunky little monkeys.
Yeah.
And they're pretty fun, but they're super shy, so you only see them if you come down in the basement and try to sneak up on them and get a look at them.
It is nice to have animals like that too, because it almost becomes a little more rewarding when you get those little moments with them instead of just knowing every time you come in you'll see them and you kind of expect it.
100%.
So it's nice when they decide to present themselves.
Look at her watching.
Vietnamese blue beauties. Look at her. She's like, oh no, the camera.
So this is Stella, the female blue beauty, and she's in a grow tent as well. This one is 4x2x6. So similar to big blues. She's got live plants, cork ground, a little pond in there.
My horse people, this is actually a corner feeder.
Oh yeah, shout out Tractor Supply.
Hell yeah.
Because that thing was only like 20 bucks.
And I'd like to point out the little fans you have. I think it's awesome, obviously, to get the airflow going, but I love seeing the foliage moving in the wind. I think it makes it so much more natural and it adds movement to it. So even when you look into the enclosure from the outside, you see something moving. Yeah. It's cool.
She'll sit in front of the fans too.
Oh yeah?
Like just right
like Beyonce with like her hair in the wind?
Oh yeah, easy breezy cover girl.
Yeah. Maybe she was born with it.
She's cruising now.
Maybe it was Maybelline. Oh god, she's like these Canadians, man. They're cringy. She's beautiful. She's much more blue than blue. Okay, so this is for the frog lovers out here. What do you have here?
My little corner of froggos. Mostly, well, I think all of these are dart frogs. We have a toad upstairs and then a pixie frog upstairs, but this is just dart frogs. So this tank has a pair of Ufaga Pamilio Isla Colognes. They are freaking gorgeous, super cool colored, but they've been having babies, which has been fun. So we have one baby in this tank, and honestly it's more like a subadult now. It's grown up a bit. And then two more fresh babies.
Yeah, I saw one in here earlier and it was ridiculously small, smaller than my pinky nail. I love the waterfall drip wall there into the little water basin at the bottom. I'd live in here.
Me too.
How much for rent? What do we have in here?
Reina Tomea Vanzolini.
It's probably one of my favorite words to say.
Yeah, and this tank is a little, let's call it lush right now.
Not overgrown.
Not
lush.
overgrown, lush. So I have no idea
the
where
jungle
they're at.
doesn't get trimmed. Oh, there's one right here.
Oh, yeah, right there.
Bro herper. I would also like to give a special shout out to this moss that's growing on this misting nozzle. I think it's adorable, and I think moss should continue to do that.
It's been great, moss.
Nice weave.
And there's a baby Branzolini in this one, which you can never see because it's always fogged up.
But you just know it's in there.
Yeah, and then two
and
more
you give it offerings.
adults in this massively overgrown enclosure.
Nice. I'll just trust you that they're in there.
They're in there.
I saw a leaf move, so.
This is Booger Bean.
Let me out!
Hi, buddy.
Not head shy at all.
Have you? No. He's used to this.
Wait. Hello, little
You see all the
one.
isopods in there too?
Oh my, they're everywhere.
They just get bathed in isopods every day.
And a little cherry
That's how
head
they
tortoise.
stay clean.
Red-footed tortoise. Here we go. 2 examples. Wait. Yes. This is their dating profile picture.
Feel his throat.
Oh my gosh, you feel like a dry old man.
I think he is a dry old man. They're one of those animals that just look like old men from the beginning.
Straight out of the egg.
Yeah.
I was gonna say straight out of the womb, but. Oh wait, what are their names? That's a very important part about them.
Booger Bean. Yes. And Mr. Pants.
Mr. Pants. Let's start with this one who seems to be demanding recognition. What do we have here?
This is Roger. He's a Stropher's tanicata, or Australian golden-tailed gecko. Here, buddy. Let go. They are super cool. So Strophers are spiny-tailed geckos. He doesn't have a spiny tail, but when they're defensive, they shoot like this, it's almost like tree sap out of their tail. That, you know, messes with people or animals or anything. So they're pretty cool. He's pretty calm. He lives in here with his lady friend, Miss Peggy. He doesn't
They're
want to be
pretty.
bothered. They're super
Tolerant to
pretty.
handling.
Yeah. Yeah, they're not a fan of it.
No, but they're pretty calm for being such a small lizard.
They can turn on the speed if they want to. They'll get little short bursts of just running
Energy,
and jumping. And yeah. So there's 2 in there, 2 more in here, and then 1 more in here. And that's kind of one of my newest breeding projects.
Right.
We did just find eggs from this
No
one.
way.
They weren't good, unfortunately.
But that's still a good sign,
it's
though.
a good sign.
Eggs.
And it was her first time, so I'm not that surprised.
Do they like it pretty hot, or do they inhabit areas that aren't as exposed?
So they like it warm, but they don't like it hot.
Right.
So they don't really like going over, 85 typically
Right.
at like the hot spot. But also being from Australia, is they're really tolerant to the cold.
Right.
So in the winter, they can drop a little bit. I'm not too worried about that. Or if it's a cold night, they can handle pretty cold temperatures in the wild.
So I know they can be expensive and not always easy to find, but would you say, leaving that aside, that they would make a decent pet gecko for somebody?
Yeah, and any of the Stropherists do, really. I mean, they don't get that big.
Yeah.
They're really unique, but
They're beautiful.
yeah, they're nocturnal. So one of the reasons why he's not super active is because it's not nighttime.
Yeah.
But
He's also out in the open.
that's the thing, is they're cryptic baskers.
Right.
So unlike other nocturnal animals that are hiding during the day, they try to blend in with branches and stuff.
Earlier, this one was on like the shaded side that was away from our line of sight.
Yeah, and it works too. Like, there's been so many times where like, I've taken those out and been like, where is he?
Yeah.
How did he get out? And then it's like, oh no, he's just on
right
that
there.
branch and I didn't see him. These are green keel belly lizards. They're super cute. I call them budget tree monitors.
Yeah.
Because that's kind of what they are. They're super goofy, have that long prehensile tail. And then those 2 actually had babies recently. So there's 2 baby males in here, and then we have another baby female in the other room.
And I've noticed that the babies start off pretty blue in coloration compared to the green color you see in the adults.
Super blue, yeah.
This, I think, with your Vietnamese Blue Beauty, is the most iconic enclosure you have.
Yeah.
I think,
Probably.
first of all, just how big and impressive it is, but what makes it so iconic is also what you're housing in here. So, for those who don't know, can you tell us what you have in here?
Yeah, so this is my morning gecko enclosure, which are these little parthenogenic geckos, like 3 to 4 inches, but they're all females. So they make copied clones of themselves and just continuously reproduce. So I started with, I think, between 7 and 10, like 2-3 years ago, and it's just exploded. And so there's probably a couple hundred in here now. And yeah, it's one of those enclosures where it's fun. Like, the longer you look in here, the more that you see.
I was gonna say, I can stand here for just a few seconds and I see movement over here. I see a little tiny baby gecko staring at me on the glass. I see 2 of them that were staring each other down, waving their tails. So I'm sure there's all sorts of interesting social behavior that goes on in there amongst themselves. Have you noticed any cool behaviors between them?
Yeah, I mean, it's not like, you know, like a colony behavior. It's not like bees or something.
Right.
But yeah, kind of like a hierarchy.
Yeah.
So the big females are always at the very top. They're typically the first to get to the food.
Yep.
And then the babies often stay at the bottom, usually on the ground or like the leaf litter, and they come up and eat later.
Right.
But as long as the food's in different spots, I mean, there's no real conflict.
It's really cool. I can't wait to sit in there and have them jump all over me. And right next to it is another massive walk-in enclosure.
The queen of the castle.
Queen of the castle.
This is Lucy. Hi, Lucy.
She seems like a puppy dog of an iguana.
She is. She's a sweet
One
dog.
might say she is a little spoiled.
Yeah. I know, I often laugh thinking, like, one of my favorite reptiles down here is one that I spent $20 on.
But those are often the ones that are overlooked. Like, this is not a lizard for everyone,
No.
right? Not everyone's gonna make an entire room for them in their basement to house them appropriately. But if you can do that, seems like a very rewarding pet.
Oh, super rewarding.
Look at her. Hi. Oh my goodness. What a rough life.
Yeah. All right. Well, let me know when you're ready to come out. I'm gonna go upstairs.
Oh shoot. I'm from Canada. I'm not used to the heat. This is probably the most aesthetically pleasing thing I've ever seen. This,
Stop.
What do you have in this massive wall of perfectly arranged enclosures?
So I call this the Great Wall of Spood.
Nice.
Yeah. These
Love
are
it.
all tarantulas. Ranging from, there's some teeny tiny babies over there, like
In
all
that
those
corner.
shelves, the nursery. And then all the way up to, you know, almost the size of my hand.
Wow. So, what are some of your favorite species? I know you have a lot here, so we won't go through each one.
I
But
like Postulatheria a lot, the Indian ornamental tarantulas. They're just all super pretty, really unique. Typically active too. Like, they're always either out on the glass or at nighttime walking around.
yeah.
I've got a couple Celadonia. Those are super fun. I've raced those up for the last 3 years.
This has to be one of the prettiest colored tarantulas, I would say. I think it's cool that they make little trapdoors that they hide behind, but why does it have to be the prettiest tarantula to hide behind a door and never show them?
And only get like an inch and a half.
An inch and a
2
half.
inches or something.
There's always pros and cons.
It's a tease.
Yeah.
Versicolors are one of my favorites. So Carabina versicolor, these things are super cool, super pretty. They change color with like every molt. So they start off when they're babies, they're like bright blue. And then every time they molt, they kind of just change their color a little bit until they get to adults. And it's like this green, metallic kind of carapace with the red.
I personally love, even with reptiles, keeping species that go through ontogenetic color change and keeping them as babies and growing them up, because you get to experience them in every color form they come in. So I think that's very rewarding with that species. And blue is the rarest color to occur in nature. So a bright metallic blue tarantula, it's pretty cool.
Yep, I agree.
I also want to give a special shout out to this enclosure. I think the use of antlers in it is beautiful.
That is a straight-horned baboon tarantula. So you know how most tarantulas, they have the hole on the back of the carapace?
Yes, a
This
little
one
indent.
sticks out.
Like a nipple.
Or I was going to say unicorn,
Oh.
but...
And then over here, we have a big family of what?
Spawns from hell.
AKA Tokay
AKA
geckos.
Tokay geckos. Yeah, so this is my little family group of Tokays. There's mom and dad, and I think 6 or 7, maybe 8 babies in there, ranging from like newborn babies to like juvie teenagers. But yeah, they have really strong familial bonds. And so like the parents will protect the babies, they all get along as long as they're in the same family.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're super happy together.
Parental care, if you will, or socialization is not very well documented in reptiles, so I think it's pretty cool that you can see it happening in your own home.
Yeah.
And I love what you've done on the side of the enclosure here, where you have the little viewing window. I know it's pretty dark, but there are little eggs that look like little candies I want to pop in my mouth. Hello. All right. Are we entering the dungeon?
The dungeon of lesbian lizards.
The chamber of lesbians.
Oh, you gotta move, little one. I don't want to step on you. Okay, I'm sitting right here.
Cool. I'm gonna be putting this on my face and feeding morning geckos. Is this a toilet seat?
Stop. You having fun in there? All right, geckos.
I can't not laugh. That concludes this video. Big thank you to Logan for having me over at his place, for his amazing hospitality, his amazing food. He makes amazing ribs. The only Brussels sprouts I've ever eaten that I've enjoyed. And he happens to be an incredible animal keeper, and he has a great sense of what all his animals' needs are, and he sets the bar really high for... You know what? I think his head's getting a little too big. He's all right. Follow him on Instagram at @thatbeardedbugguy. And you know what? While you're at it, follow me there too. You know where to find me.
Roach out.
Roach out.
Roach.